Snakes, which have nothing to do with the devil, represent the most basic and primitive level. Mates scarcely even live together. This female is carrying fertilized eggs in her belly. Right now, she's looking for a safe place to lay them. She hardly knew her mate. There wasn't much time for intimacy. One quick look was enough to convince her that his amazing body would make for great hunters. Her offspring would become great predators. The female knew she couldn't count on him for anything beyond that, so she wasn't concerned with learning more about him. And they never saw each other again. Nevertheless, the convenient role of single mother also comes with certain risks. So female snakes have to guarantee their lineage by having lots and lots of babies. Some lay as many as 50 eggs each year. And they mate just once each season. Female snakes are also quite prolific because as soon as they finish laying their eggs, the mothers abandon their offspring. They also opt out of all responsibilities related to raising their young, washing their proverbial hands of childhood and adolescence alike. Although the price is quite high considering the number of baby snakes that die. The young are armed only with instinct. Most will not survive their first year of life. This mode of reproduction might seem a bit inefficient, but for snakes and for many other animals, having males that act solely as egg fertilizers and females that do nothing to raise their young has actually worked out quite well. Obviously, the brains of these brutes were not designed for long-term relationships. This is the most basic of conjugal relationships, which is to say, the method that is furthest from that of humans. It's probably among seagulls that we can best observe similarities with our way of life, and where we may be able to draw the most conclusions on an evolutionary level. Just like us, seagulls live together in large groups. Like us, they go out each morning in search of nourishment and rob bits of food from other members of the group. Another trait we have in common is that we speak a complex language. It's unbelievable, but amidst the uproarious shrieks of the flock, each mate is able to easily recognize the voice of her other half. What's more, they generally live out their long lives of more than 30 years in a faithful relationship with a single mate. Seagulls are monogamous, or at least they try to be, like so many other couples. Seagulls spend most of the year in a calm, affable manner, concerned only with filling their bellies and preening their feathers. Their marital lives become complicated only when they are in heat, their hormones raging. That's when they nest and concentrate on raising their young. The advantage they have over humans is that this task takes up a mere 3 months of the year. But these are the worst moments. Gone are the moments of discussing whether to nest in the valley, on the cliff, or on a precipice with views of the bay. They've also left behind the mating season and quarrels about the egg-sitting schedule. The eggs have just hatched. Time is shorter than ever. Now they not only have to satisfy their own hunger, but the voracious appetites of their babies, whose cries for attention are never ending. This would fray anyone's nerves, and typical conflicts flare up about whose turn it is and who's carrying more than their fair share of the load. Specifically, the female has been waiting with her newborns for much longer than it usually takes to fly to shore, pick up some baby food, and fly back. Where did he get to? He often gets caught up with his pals, playing at something like who's better at flying upwind. The problem is that she can't leave her chicks when they're this young, and they do nothing but cry. But in a monogamous relationship, a firm commitment of both mates is the key to success. When each member of the couple takes care of his own chores, grudges are easily forgotten. And when we set our minds to it, we males are the best at feeding our families. The nature of reproduction seems to lead directly toward unlimited demographic growth. And indeed, each individual and each species, animal or plant, seeks to propagate itself to the best of its abilities. The result is an ongoing battle between all organisms. For this reason, the battle for survival is governed by rules that favor balance. Taking care of times when there are too many individuals in a species, or there is not enough food or territory, or when the number of predators, parasites, or illnesses rises, and the numbers begin to level out. This war is ongoing and will continue to be, just like the evolution that rids itself of these events. Generation after generation, descendants will acquire new adaptations to their surroundings. But since their surroundings are also ever-changing, more adaptations will always be necessary. We might conclude that nature is always a bit imperfect, can always be improved upon. Grebes are one of those species that can easily be identified as being in the midst of transition, and not just when the males begin to undertake their conjugal duties. Grebes are birds that are flying less and less and concentrating on diving. With each generation, their wings function more as fins and are less helpful for flying, enabling them to become better fishermen. This is a morphological adaptation, but it evolves according to the same principles that govern cultural adaptations in humans.